This was the most outrageous thing of all. The guards marched us across a barren expanse of hard-packed gray dirt, and then, suddenly, an incredibly beautiful church rose out of the bleakness like a peony blooming in a salted field. I was still crying, but once inside the church, a hush fell over all of us. I blinked in amazement. Our plain, serviceable little church at home was nothing like this. This was grandeur. A ridiculous flight of fancy, with stone carved into elaborate arches overhead, large stained glass windows, and behind the white marble altar, a rose window so ornate and stunningly beautiful that my mouth went dry. "What is this?" I managed to whisper to Diego. "Where did this come from?" He shrugged slightly. He didn't know. Line after line of prisoners filled the polished wooden pews, our dusty feet almost silent on the deep red carpet. I saw Kathy again. She met my eyes for a second, then looked away. I remembered that she said she'd seen Livy Clayhill, but that she was gone now. Did that mean Livy was dead? Who else from our cell had ended up here? Every kid that had disappeared? Only a couple of them? The air was still and faintly scented with something spicy. My sobs slowed to hiccups as I looked around, taking in every miraculous detail. Then Strep stood in front of the altar and began to speak. "No one wants to die," she said. "Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet death is the destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It is life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new." She paused, letting the words sink in. "A man named Steve Jobs said that, and he was right." Her eyes raked the rows of prisoners, teenagers in grubby yellow jumpsuits, some spattered with blood. I was numb, trying to process that Robin was actually gone. Gone forever. "Death is necessary. Death is the means of change that is necessary for every society to achieve its full potential." Strep paced back and forth, her heels sounding like crickets on a summer night. "There is good and there is evil in the world," she went on. "Evil will always try to suppress good. When good people in any country cease their vigilance and struggle, then evil men prevail. A woman named Pearl S. Buck said that, and she was right too. What choices have you made against evil?" She stopped suddenly and stared right into the crowd. "I'll tell you. None. You have made no choice against evil. You have supported evil, you have facilitated evil, and you have excused evil every day of your lives." My eyes widened at this crazy diatribe, but no one else seemed surprised. No doubt they'd heard it all before. The Strep went on like this, sprinkling in quotes to support her whole good versus evil shtick. I mean, good versus evil. Had she looked in a mirror lately? Irony much? Despite me being racked with grief and horror, something about this place still felt soothing. The stained glass windows were so beautiful, showing different scenes of people I didn't recognize. There was a tiny detail in one corner of a window, barely noticeable. Basically a couple of dots at the border of a much larger scene. I blinked as I realized it was a dragonfly. A green and blue dragonfly with crystal clear wings made of glass who knew how long ago. Something caught fire inside me. The shock of Robin's death, the brutality of being here, the absurd but life-threatening tests I'd been put through. My senses exploded. I am a dragonfly, I thought. I can be a dragonfly. With no more coherent thought than that, I stood up and shouted, "This is bullshit! You're a murderer! You're evil! This place is evil! Murderer!"